Good evening, everybody. Hello there. Apologies, I can't be with you fully in person. So this is the next best thing, a pre-recorded short little intro to the project and our practice. My name's Adam White. I'm a chartered landscape architect. Until last year, I was the president of the Landscape Institute, which is the professional body for all landscape architects and landscape professionals in the UK. Our practice is based in Kingston. We're on Portland Road. I live on Portland Road as well. And this is a really exciting project for a number of reasons. It's got nature right at its heart, but it's on our doorstep as well. We've delivered projects from the shores of Loch Lomond to the coast of Southampton, and we are delighted to be working on a project in Kingston upon Thames. I'm now going to share my screen and show you a little bit of an update to this project in Kingston and these two spaces and where we are and how we think you guys might be able to help us. So just bear with me when I just do my share the screen thing. I think that's what I do, share screen. There we go. Get rid of that fella. And then go to full view. You're seeing behind the scenes here. Here we go. So yes, so it was the end of last year, we were approached by Kingston First in partnership with Kingston Council to tender for these two spaces. One is Memorial Gardens, just off the Market Square, and the other one is on the riverside, Eagle Brewery Wharf. I think if I press that, there we go. And what's wonderful about these two projects is that our practice relies on a supply chain of lots of different people, and they're all Kingston based. So these two little films were made by Prima Vista Films based in Kingston. And throughout this project, we're pulling in our supply chain of support to help us. And to make sure we engage and listen, we've collaborated and brought together the Edible Bus Stop with Davies White. We've known each other for over a decade and worked on projects before. Most famously, we are working on the COVID-19 Memorial Garden right in the heart of the Olympic Park. And it's a great collaboration, bringing lots of skills and energy and innovation and a new, fresh way of looking at engaging. So let's have a quick look at where we've been. So here we are. I've mentioned our collaboration. You can see there's our team. There's myself, Andre, my business partner, Matt Gilchrist, director of Edible Bus Stop, and our landscape architect and fellow collaborator, Arat Anderson. You might recognize Arat off Gardener's World on BBC Two. You might also recognize that top picture on the left. That is me in the Gloriana, rowing up to Kingston Bridge. That was a challenge called Row to Remember, supporting a number of different charities in Kingston. And that image below it there, you'll recognize that young lady. That is Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge. And in 2019, we collaborated with her on 4 projects called the RHS Back to Nature Gardens. One was at Chelsea, one was at Hampton Court, and then a permanent one at RHS Wisley, and also one in collaboration with the NHS at a trust in Dawlish in Devon. The image at the top there, any of you that have been to the Lyric Theatre in Hammersmith, that's one of our projects. And the image on the right, don't worry, that's not a real street. That is one of the projects Edible Bus Stop created at Hampton Court Palace a few years ago, showing how nature can reclaim the streets if they were left to do so. Let's move on. So I mentioned it earlier, the Blossom Project, the COVID-19 Memorial Garden, and this is it being created. It's now just about complete. It has 3 different rings of blossoming trees, and there are 33 trees representing the 32 London boroughs and then the City of London. And there you go, that one bottom right there, that is the tree for Kingston upon Thames. So this is the project we're working on, the Happy Places project. And this is the programme, or a snapshot of it. We started at the start of May and will be complete by the end of June. We've been commissioned to engage, to listen, and to develop concepts and outline proposals for the project. They'll then look at funding, they'll develop it, but that's outside our remit. That's to come later in the year. Our contact details are at the bottom of the screen there. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us by using social media at Davies_White, or our email address is there. Likewise, Edible Bus Stop, that's their social media handle as well. So what are we hoping to achieve with these spaces? These are our sort of mood board ideas of some projects we've been involved in. You'll maybe recognise the Queen's Promenade one from Kingston there. The middle one is Cunningar Loop, a project we designed there. That is the Commonwealth Games Legacy Park, which we created. The top one is in Ireland, East Belfast, and then the Lyric Theatre on the right. And the top left, that's, if you know Hanwell in Ealing, that is one of our nature play spaces we created back in 2009, and that is 2014, that photograph. So still doing well, and it's still doing well now. But it's all about nature, creating homes for the voices that don't get to join Zoom, and that's wildlife. So these are our engagement stages that are to come, a few of them to be confirmed. So we will keep you informed now. So it's great you're here this evening, and we'll stay engaged with you and let you know when we'll be having real in-person engagement. How about that? That'll be a novelty, but we'll be doing that in the near future. And a project we've been working on, it's worth you hearing about, you might want to have a look at, is in Grosvenor Square in West London. And we got that little window of time where we could run engagement in person, COVID safe, I might add. And you'll see those image boards there that were fixed in the spaces to update people as they walk through about the project. That is going to happen in both these spaces. We'll be updating folk as well. At Davies Y and at the Edible Bus Stop, we use a blended approach of digital. You see bottom right there, digital films. We'll be creating some digital films of these concept ideas. But our favorite way by far is freehand sketching, and that's the image in the middle there. But our world has been consumed with Zoom and Teams and all these different ones. House Party, that never took off, did it? Anyway, these have been very useful to make sure we reach people that maybe couldn't get out and about and come and meet us. So we will carry on using them. So here you go, let's head over to the river. We'll quickly look at the river. Here you go, this is Eagle Brewery Wharf, and the one with probably the most challenges to overcome. We see those challenges as opportunities, and we're developing concept design ideas right now to try and address them. And we've actually got a meeting tomorrow with Kingston First and with the Royal Borough of Kingston upon Thames to talk about how the designs are developing. So maybe we could come back and do a real engaging conversation with you when we're allowed to present them. So how are we developing them? Well, we've taken a step back from just coming up with a design, and we've started to engage and speak to hundreds of people, looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for each of the spaces. We've been very keen to start with the strengths and opportunities rather than go down the rabbit hole of doom and gloom. And we've collected them and collated them under these headings of design principles. And these design principles are the first thing that we chose, and underneath it are the ones relevant to the project. So heritage, inviting and distinctive, a place for everybody, boundaries, a natural haven, enhancing biodiversity, and a range of experiences. And under them, these are some of the comments that have been provided by the different people that have joined us at stakeholder meetings. And then the other design principles are new facilities, a playful place, that was very popular. Those little plus signs mean the repeated comments. A cultural place, something really that Kingston has that many towns don't have. Steeped in heritage and history is Kingston. Maximising environmental benefits and how we can encourage society to reconnect with nature. Making sure these spaces are resilient and strong and fit for the future, and fostering ownership through engagement is one way of doing that. And then high street regeneration, looking at what's going on the high street and what will the new normal look like for town centres such as Kingston. So these are what we've collated, and this is what we're using to develop our design ideas. Let's head inland a little bit and go to the Memorial Gardens, and there's me beckoning over my dog. Trust me, my recall has improved since we made this film. Watson does appear any second now. So this is a very interesting space, a space that not everybody is aware of in Kingston. One thing I think that's really helped is the boundary railings along the War Memorial have come down to allow people to go in. Ah, there's Watson. So, and this bit around the corner, this L-shaped bit's a bit odd. No one really uses it. So we're looking at lots of different ideas of how we can enhance it and also create stronger links and connections across the town. And again, when we come back and present the design ideas, we'll tell you a little bit about it. What I'm really keen on us doing here is looking at how we can enhance this for biodiversity and for nature. It's pretty dire at the moment and has great great potential. So we welcome your thoughts on how we might do that. There we go. Here's some of the different organisations I mentioned earlier that have been supporting us on projects and are on this one. Kingston Forest and Nature School, Kath works with us on projects, and we're going to run some workshops in both of these spaces where we'll encourage families to come down and connect with nature in a COVID-safe environment. And while we're doing that, we'll run some listening and sharing sessions to find out a little bit more about people in the area and what they would like to see. So this is an interesting one. This has been repeatedly popped up. The connection from Eden Walk, Marks and Spencer's and Boots, bang, as if by magic, we're going to go straight through the railings and start walking through the space. There's an obvious design line there that doesn't exist at the moment that was in the original plans. So we're looking at popping a hole through that wall there and making stronger connections so people can walk from one side of the town to the other. Mac from the Edible Bus Stop pointed out something, and that was these hoardings that go down the cloisters that wrap around. They're like a natural canvas, like an art gallery. So we're thinking about how we can engage with the colleges and universities and use it as a really informative, engaging space. Lots of pigeons. I love pigeons. I used to keep them as a child. Right. And there you go. That's one of the issues, is these desire lines that cut across. So our design is going to try and address them. And we'll be working with all the different landowners and estate managers that are involved in both these spaces. But even on a gloomy day, very popular with mothers and toddlers, actually. We saw lots using the space. So this was our first initial sketch of just mapping what we've seen as landscape architects. But now we're starting to develop designs based on the community engagement. As I mentioned earlier, we've used the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, and threats. And that's exactly what we've done. Under the design principle headings, which we agreed with Kingston first, the heritage, inviting and distinctive, a place for everybody that's inclusive and accessible. Looking at the boundaries, particularly the cloisters, maybe we're removing all those railings. They were only there when the railings along the front were in place to lock it at night. So with them gone, there's no reason to keep the others. A natural haven. There's not many green spaces in the centre of Kingston. There's obviously the churchyard, but this is one of the other ones that really in the heart that is accessible and inclusive to all. So trying to work out how we can provide a range of experiences and new facilities, possibly a pop-up cafe, making it playful. And when I say playful, it's really important. I'm not talking about springy chickens and metal stuff. I'm talking about natural, I'm talking about intuitive, playful, gently playful, that, you know, you might just have a low wall that the child might wobble and climb along. We're not talking about fencing it off and putting rubber bouncy stuff everywhere. That is not what we're talking about. But then also looking at the culture of this space. There is the war memorial we must be very respectful of. There's the Anne Frank's tree as well, and a number of other features that we must really consider. So the heritage is essential in this space. Resilience and also improving the environmental benefits, as we've mentioned, and of course, high street regeneration. We need to support our local businesses and help them recover and bounce back with a greener recovery to the COVID-19. So that is, I'm going to stop sharing now. That is an update on where we are at the moment at Davies White and the Edible Bus Stop, working with Kingston First and the stakeholders and the Royal Borough of Kingston upon Thames. We're going to carry on developing these designs. When you have your next forum, we'll talk to Elliot and come back in person and present them to you. But having seen that this evening, if you can have a ponder, have a chat, and if you'd like to know more, get in touch. You've seen those links, design@Davies White, and it's IES, davieswhite.co.uk. You can email us and let us know your thoughts on those spaces, what your hopes and aspirations for them, and how do you think we can encourage more nature and biodiversity to make a home in the town centre. So this is Adam White in our little office here in Kingston upon Thames saying best of luck, enjoy the rest of your evening, stay safe, and I hope to see you all in person real soon. Bye-bye now. Where's the off button? Oh, it's there.